All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is good to be back, man. It was great to be out in San Diego. I had a really good time with Jack Maxwell. Everybody know who Jack Maxwell is? I do now. What a great dude. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Jack Maxwell. He did the TV show Booze Traveler, 4 seasons. Man, he had some crazy stories about that show, from Siberia to the jungles of the Philippines. Really just interesting guy. Survived non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. He beat it twice. So now he's doing a reboot of that show, but he's calling it Spirit Quest, which was really cool. So we shot on the USS Midway, which was awesome. I love being on an aircraft carrier, and it was even better because right there in the background was my boat. That was my old home right there. That was the Abraham Lincoln. She had just gotten back from deployment last week. I think Sledge was out there. Sledge was out doing some business in San Diego and got to see the Lincoln pull in after deployment, which is pretty cool. Seeing an aircraft carrier pull into port is impressive to begin with, let alone with thousands of folks waiting for it, right? Friends, family. It's an awesome experience. The young sailors who have kids who were born while they were away, they get off first. There's a tent at the bottom where you get to go see your kids first. Oh boy, 4250. So that was, and I have nearly 200 landings aboard that boat. That's called a Centurion patch. So I had like nearly 200. I had more than 100 at night on board Lincoln, which was just absolutely terrifying. But it was cool. It was really, it was awesome to be out in San Diego. Got to hang out with my brother Ferg. That's Brian Ferguson right there. He's the technical advisor to Maverick. Good friends with Tom and Jerry Bruckheimer and Miles Teller, who we're trying to get for the No Fallen Heroes project. He told me, he's like, dude, Miles has all your stuff. He knows Marcus really well. Marcus has called me before I hopped on the air, which is weird. So I want to make sure everything's okay. See, Marcus, my brother. So I got to call him back. Marcus Luttrell. So good stuff. Great to be out there. It was a 6 o'clock call time, which I was on East Coast time, so I was up anyway. I was up at 5. But yeah, we shot before the museum opened. Then we went to a bar downtown, changed our clothes. So that's the secret, folks. So it's gonna look like a multiple day shoot, but it was that day. And then today or yesterday, they're shooting with Sammy Hagar. Got some lasagna, and they got some more lasagna. So there we go. Awesome. And then yesterday, flying home, it's always a bittersweet day for me. Yesterday is my sister Monica's birthday. I absolutely, decades later, I am at peace. Love my sister Monica. She does look like my daughter Keely. That's actually from her yearbook, which is interesting to read because you read all the things that she had written down that were special about that year, and it's tough. It's I'm at peace, and I know exactly where she is, and with me, and with you, and with all of us. But it's still bittersweet. We're at Susie's, actually leaving tomorrow morning with Matthew. And then Saturday morning, I'm leaving with Jack and Keely. We're flying up to Greenwich, Connecticut. I got to bust out my seersucker outfit with all the blue bloods for my nephew's wedding. So it's interesting that to go to this wedding. It's the first time all of our families gotten together in years. But I always sit there and I always wonder, if she was still alive, she'd obviously be a mother, maybe a grandmother, and yeah, it's bittersweet. It's interesting. So, her death was not in vain because it's spurred me to try and help people heal. So hopefully that works. Southie Jack. So that's that guy, Jack Maxwell. Just a funny dude. Yeah. So there we are. That's us in the bar. That's Travis McVeigh from Heroes Vodka. So he's a former Marine. He was on the Marine presidential detail with naval aviator George Bush. And he was a really good guy too. So really interesting to meet. Okay. Let's get going. Last podcast dropped Monday, so hopefully you listened to that. That was half spiritual and half a good rant, because last week was just insane, followed by this week just insane, right? So the day that that the president signs the Inflation Reduction Act. Do you remember what happened a year ago that day? I do. 11 Marines, 2 soldiers, and a Navy corpsman were disintegrated. You know what happened a couple days ago? The brother, so a Marine that died during Joe Biden's surrender and horrific withdrawal from Afghanistan. So they're going to have a memorial service for this Marine blown up last year. His brother killed himself near the memorial. Do you remember those guys and girl that got killed? I do. Does this country? Fuck no. Inflation Reduction Act. How about we celebrate the lives of the 13 service personnel killed last year on your fucking watch, Joe? Speaking of watch, remember that famous picture as the caskets are coming off the airplane in Dover? What did Joe Biden do? Time's this thing over, man. Remember that? Could you imagine if Donald Trump was caught looking at his watch, his caskets? They would have fucking impeached the guy. He wasn't looking at it. It was an itch. It was the excuse matrix. That dude standing right next to Dr. Jill, caskets coming off. He's like looking at his watch. It's a fucking disgrace. It's a disgrace. January 6th Commission. How about the Afghanistan Surrender and Withdrawal Commission? When's that commission scheduled? When do we drag all the admirals and generals up in front of us? McChrystal, Petraeus, Mad Dog Mattis. General, we have testimony from you a couple years ago that says we're fucking winning. Everything's great. You just need more money. I see you work at a defense contractor now. It's a disgrace. Trillions. Fuck the trillions. 2,488. I forget. I should know the exact number. U.S. service personnel killed in Afghanistan. Nearly 21,000 maimed for the rest of their lives, scarred. Hundreds of thousands mentally scarred, let alone Afghanis killed. Not a word on the anniversary of the worst military defeat in our nation's history. Well, this Pearl Harbor, don't give me any of that bullshit. A 20-year war, we lose, and we give it back to the enemy who we were fighting. Not only did we give it back to the enemy, we gave them $1 billion, $2 billion in military hardware and weaponry. We need a background check if you're a law-abiding citizen to purchase a firearm. But here's $2 billion worth of firearms for Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. And then days later, Righteous Strike Millie. Righteous Strike Millie. We're gonna get the people that killed these people. Boom! Drone strike. 7 children killed. Children, folks. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley, it was a righteous strike. What? Has he ever come out and apologized for actually using that language? Who's the buck stop with? Well, after the Pentagon did an investigation into that righteous strike, nobody's responsible. It was the fog of war. Oh, so when we commit a war crime, it's fog of war. Not a word, ladies and gentlemen, on the anniversary of that. Not a word. All the words were Inflation Reduction Act. We saved. I thought this wasn't a climate bill. No, it is. It's not Inflation Reduction Act. It's we're saving the planet act. It's awful. Yeah, exactly. Either Putin's to blame or Trump's to blame. Make sure you're following Maverick Options, folks. Trying to build the brand here and get airborne again. All right. I think that's it as far as admin items. Yeah. Or rant items. But no, it's just heartbreaking. I can't. Could you imagine being? I mean, could you imagine being the mother? You lost your son last year in Afghanistan, and the other son kills himself. Yeah, I can't even. You can't. I can't. I can't fathom. Wish I had gotten to the brother. Right? Could we have helped? Could we have saved his life? Oh, you know, it was really cool that happened. What a God moment. I land in San Diego. So, former Hornet driver did the medicine this past weekend down at the Mission Within in Mexico. Pigpen is his call sign. Scott Walters. Pigpen. Pigpen had, and we had hooked him up a little bit. He drove across the border and went to the airport. Guess what happened? I get a text. Dude, I'm at gate 25. No way. I'm sitting on the ramp. He's like, yeah, I got an hour and a half until right there. That's me and Pigpen in the San Diego airport. Before I knew he was at the airport, he sent me this text. We'll talk, bro, but please pass my gratitude. Greatest gift anyone has ever given me. The noise is gone, and I'll never have another suicide thought again. I got that text before I landed, and as I'm taxiing in, he's like, dude, I gave him a big hug, man. I had tears in my eyes as he told me, son, maybe he'll come and debrief, but he looked lighter. He just looked different. He'd been in a bad way, in a couple bad places, and guess what? We're going to help his daughter. The generational healing, the ripple effect, the butterfly effect. Talk about a moment. Just landing in San Diego and getting to see him. That's all God. That's all. There is no such thing as a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing in this universe is coincidental. That is all planned. That is God. That is absolutely God. I love the fact that seeing, Aaron Rodgers now. Okay, we have an NFL star that does, and I talked to Jack for a while about psychedelics. He's on board. He's like, after beating my cancer, he's like, I got PTSD. He's like, I got survivor's guilt. I need healing, man. He's like, I have looked into he's like, I've started microdosing a little bit. I feel great. So he and I had a very serious talk about the medicine. And he's like, dude, this new show's called Spirit Quest. Maybe we, let's talk. So great week. Every so often I grab my phone and look at the Max Afterburner group, see what you guys are up to, took a look at the market. And I did not need to do that. Why? Because I briefed you on what was going to happen. Like back here, what did I say? Next up, the 200-day moving average. I failed. Or no, I didn't. Bing! I got it. I told you back here, guys. With airspeed, back. With airspeed, back. With airspeed, back. We'll talk about it, but folks, I called it. We got close to a bottom down here. I told you, I'm like, the hair on the back of my neck standing up. I might nibble on some Amazon. I used the N word, and I can't stand that word. And I used it. Why? Because I felt it. I'm like, yeah, I'd start nibbling here. Even if we go lower, we're going to pass here on the way up. I'd nibble back here. Didn't nail it to the day. I nailed it to the zone. And then Jerome Powell right there. I'm like, done, quit, give up, put your rally flag on. I use those words. Watching that press conference, It's over. But shut up. It's over. But stop it. You can get bearish right now. I'm not. I'm done. I am bullish. Next stop, 200-day moving average. Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. So I didn't even need to look at my phone or see what the market was doing this week because I knew what it was doing. I had manifested it. So, anyway, Daniel, absolutely great kill out of Joe Biden. Means nothing. The dude was living in the rich district in Kabul. So, Daniel, what did Joe Biden tell us? Joe Biden told us that Al Qaeda is defeated. There is no Al Qaeda or Taliban, whichever. I don't care either term, but we were convinced we don't need to be in Afghanistan because they're all gone. The leader is he was living in some former soldier general's house too. It's funny. So the dude, it's kind of like the Bin Laden kill. It's good because it's a righteous kill. I can call it that because that one is a righteous kill, but it meant nothing. The dude was not in operational control of anything, right? So it's a great kill. I congratulate the president on that kill. It means nothing to the operatives. That's like, the Japanese killing Admiral Nimitz when he was 98 in retirement sitting at home and then going, ha ha! Really? But yeah, good on him. Exactly, Gary. I think it was the second or third time. I thought I did the same thing, man. Yeah. Biden stands up to China. You mean the big guy? The big guy stands up to China? Of course. He stands up to China so he can get paid, man. 10% for the big guy. My son is in a hedge fund in China and this and that. So, anyway, I did the same thing. I think we've killed that guy 20 times. Then, of course, this time that we killed him, what did they say? We're convinced that we killed him. Did you get DNA? We're convinced that we killed him. Okay. Did you take a picture? We're convinced. Oh, so we have no proof. I would have released the pictures. When we killed Uday Kuzi and Uday Hussein, remember when we killed Saddam Hussein's kids? They released the pictures. Don't Google that and look at the death. It's awful. So, yeah. Anyway, guys. So, anyway, we knew it was coming. Real quick, strategic brief. The U.S. military furiously rewriting nuclear deterrence to address Russia and China. The Stratcom chief. So, people shall remain nameless, but a month ago, weeks ago, whatever, we were going back and forth with somebody who's like, Putin won't use deterrence. And I'm like, were you ever the adversary officer of your squadron? Did you ever not read Soviet nuclear doctrine? They believe they can win a nuclear war or in a nuclear engagement. We believe in deterrence. Nobody's crazy enough to use a nuke because it's mutually assured destruction. Did you read their book? No, because nobody crazy. So here we are a month later after whoever I got into it with. Stratcom. Yeah, we're changing our doctrine. The Russians and now the Chinese believe they can use use them just tactically, everyone, not like we're going to wipe each other off the continent, but we will use nukes. From Vladimir Putin to the local Russian newscaster, they to a person have said, you back us into a corner, we're going to use nukes. Us. No, you won't. Russians. Try us. Us. Okay, we will. Great. I read a report on the way out to San Diego that even a limited nuclear engagement, like even if they toss up a couple nukes, will kill like 1 billion people over 10 years just with fallout and destroying crops and land. Even like, I think the report said like a 3% use of nuclear weapons anywhere in the globe kills 1 billion people around the world. I'm like, holy shit. I'm briefing you on this because as we're going to talk about a market that just won't die, we have got to always be looking at what? How are we going to get killed? Head on a stick. Put your head on a stick, right? On a pike. But this was an interesting read that the Stratcom, look, our expertise is just not what it was at the end of the Cold War. Really? You mean we haven't changed with the times? This was very timely because I was telling whoever it was a month ago that we're not up to date with our nuclear thinking. Ipso fatso, Stratcom listened to my brief, came out and said, yeah, we need to redo stuff. Speaking of our military suck, how about the Royal Air Force? First of all, a bunch of their red arrows have a little bit of red arrows, sleeping with this, and like 3 of them just got booted off the team or resigned. So the Royal Air Force has stopped hiring white men. We don't want any more white people in our military. White men, I mean. Or you know who the head of Royal Air Force recruiting is? A female officer. And you know what she did? She quit. She's like, even I think this is insane. There's the Vice Air Marshal presiding over the 2016 marriage of an enlisted man and his boyfriend. No, Doug, even like gay white men, that's what's funny. This is how crazy this stuff will be. They won't even let them in there, and then they'll get pissed, and there goes the S&P 500. I nailed that pivot. Did everybody nail that pivot? I think I do this for a living. Boom. Remember, watch what I'm doing. Even though my lips are moving, watch what I'm doing in the background here. If you're in Max Afterburner and the Hunters, take the profit right now. You're probably crushing it. I got filled over here. Let me, hold on. Did I get filled in this account? No. Yeah. My wife is a hell of a trader. Got filled at $1.30. It's at 80 cents right now. Boom. Nice job. Okay. So speaking of I don't know why I'm in a British mood. Russia warns the UK Air Force ordered to prevent planned spy overflight. So, folks, for the past fill in the blank number of decades, the Soviets, I'll call them that, and the United States and Great Britain, we got to fly over each other's countries. We got to fly sniffing airplanes over each other's countries. Why? So they can do what? Sniff to see if you're doing any nuke tests. It's a throwback to whatever agreement, I forget. It's a lot of bong resin up there right now. So yeah, there's the sniffers. That's the sniffer airplane. So the RC-135, the rivet joint, is the call sign. If you fly that next flight over Russia, we're going to blow you out of the sky. Oh my. So this is bad. Russians threatening to use nukes. No, they won't. Russia saying you fly over our country to see if we've been testing anything, we'll shoot you down. Stock market is not the economy. Stock market is not the world that we live in right now. The stock market is on crack. But we have to be ready for this stuff. So if or when something like this happens, in the blink of an eye, we go from being offensive and shooting and taking profits to staying offensive and shooting and taking profits. I was going to say defensive, but we're not defensive if we're winning. So I'll ditch that analogy. So China kind of saying, did you see their GDP, or they had some horrific macroeconomic data this week, last week, whenever it was. Lots happened since we've talked. And then their housing market, there is so much bad in China. There's so much bad in China that I actually think they might invade Taiwan. Why? To pull a Putin. Things going bad domestically, let's go to war. Let's circle Taiwan and have a naval blockade. Nice job, Nancy. Bye. Thanks for my 24-hour visit, war. Well done. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. How about the Bed Bath and Beyond shit? So MindMed was part of the that dude's portfolio, or he mentioned it. A 20-something year old university student that made $110 million with a 1-month bet. So a 20-something that's trading meme stocks, excuse me, also likes what kind of stocks? Psychedelic stocks. That's the next generation, baby. Did you guys watch The Offer yet? I'm talking like this because Jack, he could do a Pacino, the guy from The Offer, and Christopher Walken. He does Christopher Walken better than Christopher Walken. Wiz, I can't even do it. So anyway, this is funny. MindMed. No shit. So look at the intel coming from Arrow. My company has been told that our orders for IAC modules may not be filled until 2025 due to the DoD claiming all the intel chips. So DoD right now is doing what? Give us everything chip-wise. We need it because war is coming. That's all you need to know right there. Arrow is providing great intel. There you go. I called this a month ago. Before her trip, I said, get long semiconductors. I haven't yet. It's on my get long semiconductors board over there. That is in my bullish bets, and I haven't done it. You need to do it. I need to do it. Semis. Get long the ETF. Get long anything that has to do with chips. Buy it. All right, now let's get to what we're supposed to be talking about right now. Did everybody read the Fed minutes yesterday or get a debrief? You don't have to read them because they're summarized in this headline right here. The minutes. Fed officials see need for continued interest rate increases, but less certainty over the destination. Officials at last month's meeting acknowledged risks from raising too little and too much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Reserve, it's not Snow White. What's the Three Bears? Something in the Three Bears. Oh my God. Need another cup of coffee. The porridge. Goldilocks. Jesus. Goldilocks. Jerome Powell's call sign is Locks or Goldie. It can't be Goldilocks. That's too long. It's got to be like one's Whiz, Punch, Sledge. It can't be multisyllabic, right? So, I'm going to have to brief you on anything that was in the Fed minutes. Why? Because we know it's his speech after the last one. It was his written speech, right? Which written speech was what? We care a lot about inflation. We know people are hurting. The average person is hurting. Everything's bad. We're gonna do our job. Followed by the press conference. We don't want a taper tantrum. I mean, come on now. Am I right? Am I right? The 1%. We can't let the stock market go down. Come on, booby. Let's go. Rally flag. No, but you really need to take us serious because we are going to inflation is our number one concern. Wink. No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fed's only concern is on the screen right now. I don't care what you think. The economy sucks. The job might zip it. Zip. Silence. But I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We are in a, say it with me. So off the lows, what type of market are we in right now? From the lows, a bull market. it's a bear market rally. It could be. But you, ladies and gentlemen, have to tell me right here or here or here, what does this? Seasonality. Yeah, okay. Sell in May and go away, and then everybody comes back from the Hamptons in September. I'll be in Greenwich tomorrow. Or no, Friday was Saturday. Seasonality. But it could be. Everybody who's serious gets back in from the Hamptons and says everything's bad. Let's dump some stuff. But guess what? That's also from when? Before people like you were trading. Before the unwashed Robinhood masses got into this market and did what? This. The fact that Stevie Cohen and Ken Griffin, one of the world's richest dudes, is following your order flow tells you something about where we are in Wall Street today. I declared the end to smart money years ago because we called them wrong every time they were wrong, and they were. Jeffrey Gunlock. So, Lawrence, you're going to appreciate that. You're a Mets fan? I'm sorry to hear that. Lawrence, you're a Mets fan? Yeah, that's right. He owns the Mets, doesn't he? That's weird that you said that, Lawrence, because I just got an email this morning. Hi, I wanted to reach out and congratulate you on being nominated for one of our New York Mets Veterans of the Game spots. What a weird day. Mets Veterans of the Game. It was, who emails at 2:42 in the morning? That's a little creepy. So there you go, Lawrence. If you like the Mets, I'm going to go out and zing one in there for you. Good strike. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, everything's funny. Things are funny. Should have gotten out at 42.75. You see that pivot? 42. It went all the way up. It kissed 42.75. Reload the bull put spread if you got out. You should have taken the 70 cents profit, 60 cents profit. Boom, boom, boom. Sniper shots. Pays for your lifetime membership. Guys, again, Bob, hopefully, Bob, you're in the webinar here, and I posted the article above. It has nothing to do with a buyout, folks. It has everything to do with some wonder kid giving money from his parents to Bed Bath and Beyond it. This is why, folks. Jake Freeman. I love the name. What are you? I'm a Freeman. That's from Dune, the movie Dune. Jake Freeman and his family, 5 million shares in BBY. And then what happened? Boom. The dude, I love it. This is, what, is he going to get in trouble? Unlike Nancy Pelosi. So is this guy going to get in trouble that he pumped? He's on Reddit writing his own, like, buy this stock. How is that not okay, right? You can do that shit. You're not allowed to do that shit? Of course you can. If we all got long something in Max Afterburner, we could go out like soldiers on the internet and pump it up. How's that market manipulation? It's our opinion. We're in this thing. Why shouldn't you too? So it's just funny that people are already starting to crop up like, oh, he pumped he's a 20-year-old or whatever. Exactly, Aaron. Bremen is an applied math econ student at University of Spoiled Children. He is the new Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin started Citadel in his room at Harvard. Oh, yeah, like he went to Harvard. Little Trading Places quote. So, he's an intern at a hedge fund. Through Freeman Capital Management, FCM Fund, he raised the BBY from family and friends. Plus, he also gets help from his uncle, Dr. Scott Freeman, a former pharma executive who works at Freeman Capital Management. He's also the co-founder and former CMO of what? MindMed. FCM sent a letter to the board of directors of MindMed calling on the company's board to adopt a new strategic plan proposed by FCM, including refocusing on core drugs, cutting cash burn, and terminating the at-the-money equity offering. Wow. And I will even volunteer to sit on the board to help. What did I tell you? I said reload the bull put spread. If I wasn't doing these briefs, I'd be doing what I am saying as I'm talking to you, because I'm like Marty Feldman. What did I tell you? Reload the bull put spread. What's at the middle here? Where'd that turn? 42.60? Close enough. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm on a 1 minute chart. That ain't me. Thank you. On a nice orderly decline like this, you put bull put spreads on because the thing just ain't. It ain't. I'm not. What is it? The weekly options claims? Yawn. Or weekly jobless, not weekly options. Where am I? Unemployment claims. Ooh, okay. Existing home sales were soft. The conference board's leading index unched. The Philly Fed, whoa, Philly Fed crushed it. Anything tomorrow? Mortgage delinquencies. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Okay, do I have anything else to brief up here? Now, hey, billionaire Ray Dalio. Cash is trash. Ray Dalio credits his success to 40 minutes of meditation per day. What have I told you? What have I told you? 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at 3 p.m. 2 plus 2 equals 20. There's 40 minutes. You're welcome. I love that Ray Dalio is a Top Gun Options member, and he listened to my meditation advice that I gave you years ago. Now that a billionaire hedge fund magnate comes out to do it, oh, geez. Transcendental meditation, TM. Yeah, you don't share your mantra. I'm not going to tell you what mine is. 4-day training course, $1,000. I am in the wrong business. I've moved away. I don't use a mantra anymore. Up until doing the medicine, now I don't. I have the playlist from the Mission Within. The playlist from the Mission Within. It's like 20 hours, but the music on this playlist is, as soon as I press play and I sit down, I'm in it. Old me meditating, it would take 5 to 10 minutes. My head's itchy. I need to. My head's all. Nope. When I press the playlist from the Mission Within, I am back. There are some. You're not supposed to grade your meditations, but I will. That's ego talking, Wiz. I'm sorry. It's okay. We'll work on it. But there are some meditations where I transcend. I am not here. Yeah, I'll give you the link. Compass, we talked about a couple weeks. Everybody happy with what's going on. I told you to get long Amazon. It's up 42% since I said to get long Amazon. Compass is still crushing it, looking good. We told you to buy it back here. It's up here, taking a nice little break. Is everybody consistently selling at the money calls against your long? Here's the long. The 17.5 synthetic stock out to 2 years, over 2, little, yeah. And we sold the 17.5s for Was it? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go. The 17.5 for this week. So they are going to go out what? Worthless. They go out worthless. Oh, I have the primary portfolio up. This is a joint brief, but we'll talk about Compass. So, folks, you keep the max profit of those short calls. Yeah, oh, that's right, because they didn't have weeklies. Duh. Now I remember this. I wouldn't do that. I do the 20s out to September. You can let those 17.5 calls expire worthless for tomorrow, or close them now, right? Close them now. Why? Because tomorrow, what happens? Breaking news: Compass CEO is Buddha, and the stock's up 9 million%, and you get blown out of your short calls. Close your short calls today. Now, Scott, you're a great American. I'm going to use you as an example, because this is why we have our investment club, so we can learn from each other as well. Had a Verizon bull put spread set to expire tomorrow at max profit. Tried to get out yesterday at a cent, but couldn't get filled. Last night, excuse me, look at the S&P 500. I do this for a living. Last night, an investment firm downgraded the stock. Now it's at a max loss. Thanks, nerds. That sucks, Scott. I've been there. Don't do it again. On a bull put spread, if you're looking for a 70, 80, or 90% profit on that credit you take in, close it. This right here, folks, is the ultimate example of having an SOP and sticking to it. Ladies and gentlemen, do this. Earn this, right? Saving Private Ryan. So, ladies and gentlemen, and that sucks, Scott. I've been there, dude. I'm not sitting here. Do not throw a knife at somebody unless you got a note attached to it. The note attached to it is, I've done that. However, I learned from doing that. I'm going to save that as a little bit of a case study. SOP lesson learned. That sucks, dude. I feel it. I know it sucks, but that's why we close that out, because there are nerds like that. We are short this name. Let's hammer this name by tomorrow. Oh, look at that. Does that actually go on, Wiz? Did you not watch Billions? It's worse than Billions. Trust me, what happens on Wall Street. You want to talk about manipulation? No, I would not. I wouldn't reload. No. When you see an SPX turn like that and it really rally, you sit. Scott, you're famous. Hi, Mom. Hello, Ryan, darling. I'm with you, Scott. So if you're not, but here's what you do. You got to up that, right? How many times have I said, if you really want to get out of a trade, the dude or the lady on the other side ain't going to go, I'm going to lose a little bit of money on this. No. You're going to have to pay up to get out of it. Like, no, sorry, dude. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. So that sucks. But again, I ain't throwing a knife. I've been there. I've done that. And that's why I don't do that. The only time, really, that I'll let something, quote, expire worthless, and I shouldn't, is like an SPX trade sometimes. Why? Because it settles in cash as well. But I need to get better at that. I'm falling on my sword right now. I need to fly my SOP a little bit better. But Scott, thank you for reminding. Glad I can be an example of what not to do. And it's not for the first time. Exactly, bro. I've been there, man. All right, guys. A lot of athletes are starting to come out now. I have a big podcast dropping tomorrow with Coach Jeremy from down in Miami. He's actually getting together with Daniel Carcillo to There's just great stuff going on in this space, guys. The fact that Jack Maxwell from Booze Traveler was riveted. He hung on every word. Here's the coolest part. Not that Jack Maxwell isn't cool. After I said this to him, as they were breaking down the set, I talked to the grip, the associate producer, the other lady, and the sound dude. There was like 4 people around me. They were hanging on every word. The one lady's like, well, I do energy work, and I know exact. And the one guy's like, oh, there's 4 people who I talked to them. I sat there, and for about an hour, I talked to them. And they are going to go, and this is how you create change. Seeing Pigpen. Dude, Wiz, I was in a bad place. His daughter, unfortunately, is in a bad place. And he's like, I think I can save her. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. If you've been a TGO for less than a year, this is old news to you. If you've been a TGO for more than 2 years, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe Wiz talks like this. Neither can I. Actually, I can. I can believe that because God takes care of fools, drunks, and sailors. Home run, all 3 bases. Get long psychedelics. Period. I keep seeing these. I'm bipolar, and so am I. I'm a little bipolar right now because I'm right in the middle of what? Here's what I'm in the middle of. Anybody who wants to heal trauma, become a better wife, husband, father, mother, sister, brother, anybody who wants to be better at being a human, not a better football player, a better trader. I'm talking about being this. Like when Aaron Rodgers is like, I had the best career of my life after doing this or season. People are like, what? He didn't do it to be a better football player. I didn't do the medicine to be a better trader. What I did it to heal me. If we have a rapid depressurization in the airplane, put your mask on yourself before you put it on and help anybody else. Yes. So I'm torn because anybody who wants to heal themselves or be better, I support. How could you not support that? The other half of me is it is a little, axe capital. I could be a better trader. I could be a bigger billionaire. I don't think Ray Dalio, I don't know Ray Dalio. I hope he's not meditating to be a better trader, right? You can't lie to God. Set and setting. If you go in on the medicine like I want to be I'm not going to tell you how it's going to be. I have no idea. That's all in God's hands. But right, our pre-flight says, what are your intentions on the medicine? Look at it hugging rated 4275. What are your intentions for the medicine? See, as this thing ripped higher, I said, don't just hang, because now we're in what? Now everybody on the floors are making their decisions. I love these sniper shots, man. And if it breaks, then you jump in. I think we might see a break high. Oh, I was about to say higher, and then it did it. It's exactly right, John. If you can unfornicate you, everything else falls into place. The second I agreed to do the medicine, it was creepy. Looking back on it, especially reading my journal, things changed for me. I hadn't even done the medicine yet, but I think once you put that out to the universe, it's kind of like the universe hears that, like, got it. Let's start going. Bull put spread. What to tell you? As I said, that I think it's going to break high. I didn't finish the word higher. It broke higher. I am Neo. I see the Matrix. Now, if you're in the original bull put spread from down here, now you're up to whatever. What did I get filled at? $1.30? What's that spread at? Let me look. What account was that in? It's at 45 cents, folks. Wow. That's a 70% profit right now. If well, I won't take time because I want to cover another trade. If you're in that one, I want to put a closing trade. Actually, Everybody in Max Afterburner and Hunter should be in here. Close that original bull put spread. What's the market at? 40 cents. Throw in an order for 40. There you go, Doug. 30-cent profit, or 50% profit in 30 minutes. I love it. Almost time to stand up. All right. Well, wanted to talk about the VIX and Amazon because one of my quote losing trades right now obviously is what? VIX. Ain't necessarily a trade, right? Let's move stuff around. The VIX. This is the market can remain. Look at that. Look at the VIX, folks. This, I'm telling you, very rarely does this type of thing, like this is going to age off the left side of my radar here. I'm warning you right now. Listen to me. Sit up straight. This rarely happens. Here's what I'm getting at. I can't remember. Let's say that this ages off. You got about 2 weeks. If the VIX stays low for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to tell you 2 weeks from now that I can't remember the last time I seen a VIX that was essentially flat. Okay? It's just, look at the 6 month. Ooh, guys, this is creepy. I get it. I'm the guy that's telling you rally flag and everything like that, but the market is like me, schizophrenic. The market does what? Looks around and goes, we haven't freaked out about anything recently. The VIX is just way too low for way too long. Somebody sneezed. Implosion. Down. It happens. I've been there. I've seen it on the floor. I saw it in my trading firm. Traders get antsy, like something ain't right. They'll find an excuse. That's what's funny. We'll find it, the market will get slammed, and then I love watching the idiots on CNBC running around trying to find an explanation. Well, this assistant to the vice principal of some Fed kind of mentioned something. Aha! No aha. A bunch of firms decided to go, you know what? Let's take a shitload of profit right now. We'll reload. Get long the VIX before we dump everything. Okay, dump it. Oh, everybody's freaking. VIX popped. We made even more money. Let's all go to Lake whatever for a little bit. That's exactly what happens. I've been there. I've seen it. I've done it. Look at Tony. Look at those sniper shots. Tony's doing exactly what you're supposed to do with the sniper shots. Boom, 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 boom. 15 minutes or both. That is its own thing, folks. It's its own fun and stuff. But anyway, my VIX calls are obviously clearly underwater. I don't care. If you're sitting on if you listen to me and said, done, no taper tantrum, put your rally flag on, market's going higher. If you listen to me, you're printing money. And then if you got a little bit of that VIX, like I said last week, are you going to go, I'm printing less money? You're an idiot and you're a shitty trader. And I mean both of those things. Don't do that. If you're looking at your VIX being underwater right now, you did it for the wrong reasons. If you did it as a trade or a hedge, you're smart. If you did it as a trade, I'm not going to say it's not smart, but I think it is still kind of smart, to be honest with you. I will say it's still a little bit of a trade to have those on. Why? Because this is creepy. Look at this. And down. No, up, chop. Down a little bit. Up. We haven't seen any of this crap. This monster rally, even to a guy like me who told you to get it, it's a little overbought at this point. Now, I do not believe massive implosion. I don't think we're heading back down to this 100-day or anything like that. But I think it's time for a break. But I could be wrong. Look at this. We went through and back to it. This one, it hit, and then 2 days we hovered under it. We hit, and here's day 2 of the hover under it. Look at that. Hit, stay, down. Hit, down. I mean, we could do 4,200 or something like that. That's an interesting. That's a Look at the history of 4,200. Kind of a big wall here. So big support, and then broke. Resistance. If anything, I'm feeling a 4,200, but nothing. But it won't be there for long, folks. Trench freaking warfare. Trench warfare. Even if it does do a 42, I'd reload. Oh my God, John, really? MNMD. 100 million. I know my ETS doing good. Still, $1,200 today. Look at that! Yay! My ETF is up a little bit. You know what? Where's the options, man? I can sell. Well, no, they don't have the AUG. What are the AUG? The AUG ones. These SEPT 1.5s. Hey, there's some premium in them. How many? I could sell 20. Wow. Your call. Oh my God. If you had bought calls on that, oh my God. That's awesome. If somebody like flew out, I talked about this all along the way with MindMed folks. I'm like, I don't, not me doing it because I don't do this, but if you had done it, I don't trade options on stocks under $10. They're an option. Folks, this might, if you don't have a ton of cash to do it, folks, you could do the options out here. Folks, this hits people's radar. This hits people's radar. Anything that's up 50% in a day will make news, will make unusual options. It will, and people will go, what is MindMed? And people will go, oh my God, they're psychedelic public companies. Maybe this is a defining moment. Maybe this is a, holy shit, there's a psychedelic space? So, and by the way, guess what's coming up? A stock split, which historically, for people who don't understand math, usually makes the stock go up. So, folks, go join the 100 million. We're going up, man. This might be a defining moment for the psychedelic space because there are a ton of people sitting at home in their bunny slippers doing what? Oh my God! Look at this. Oh, it's a penny stock. Or no, it's not. It's actually it's a real company. Oh, it's psychedelics. What are psychedelics? Boom. There's a pivot. 4280. Let's see if we're going to chop around this 4275 on SPX. That was a good run. That was a very good run out of SPX. Wow, I love it. I didn't get to half of what I needed to get half. Well, sorry about that, but duty called. Oh, I forgot to brief you. In the in the shoot with Jack, we talked about No Fallen Heroes. He let me brief. I don't know how much is gonna make it in there, but we talked psychedelics, we talked veterans issues, we talked healing, we talked everything, man. So we'll see. He's like, wow, I definitely want to follow up with this. One of the investors who I talk to a lot, one of the investors in Spirit Quest, this old guy, really cool dude. You could tell he had money. He and I were sitting there. He's like, because he listened to our segment, and he's like, we need to do like a show on this, like just this and the veterans and the psychedelic healing. And I'm like, that'd be great, man. Here's my business card. By the way, I'm making a documentary on this. Let's do lunch. So it wasn't just sitting around shooting the shit. We got to talk about veterans issues, veteran suicide. He was blown away. He's like 22. I'm like, I think that's higher, by the way, but sure. 17, 20, 22, 24, 30. Doesn't matter if it's one veteran a day killing themselves. It's too many. One life lost. Generational trauma, ladies and gentlemen. which is just absolutely devastating. So sorry, guys. You know what? Maybe I'll do a video, or if I, maybe I'll send out a text and trade alert to the weekly options and primary live trade brief crowd, because I had a ton of shit to cover, but had to cover that stuff. All right. Jump in the ready room if you got any questions, concerns. Oh, by the ways, for me, you got Bart tomorrow morning. And I got a ton of stuff to do, but I promise if I'm seeing a good trade, I wanted to talk some Amazon. What we covered a little bit, Bath and Beyond. Target, I wanted to talk about. Yeah, maybe I'll send out. We'll see. Let me see how the rest of the day goes. Mitch, I wouldn't worry about Compass. I mean, there might even be some people flowing out of Compass over to MindMed. I don't know. I mean, that's just. I mean, I wouldn't call even suck and win, but I know what you're talking about. Even is pretty good. Blue Horseshoe does love MindMed. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. I'll get the replay posted here shortly. I appreciate your flexibility this week with allowing me to travel out. I love being in San Diego. Miss San Diego. Matthew was born out there. But just a reminder to make sure you're in the Max Afterburner Lifetime group, because they all were having a good time in there while I've been gone. And obviously over here in the Hunters. Folks, if you're in Full Throttle, and you have an annual membership, you have access to the Hunters. I want to remind you, if you pay $29.95, you have access to the Hunters Self-Directed Investment Squadron. Okay, if you're monthly Hunters, you don't. If you're paying $4.90, or I mean, if you're monthly at $2.95, you don't. If you are paying for the Hunters $4.97 a month, you do. It's the annual and the Hunters. But and then somebody the other day was like, I did a Black Friday annual membership for like $9.95. I'm like, you ain't getting access to the Hunters, dude. Please. God almighty, man. Got a 50% discount to begin with, and then the answer is no. So if you pay $29.95 for a year for your annual Max, your annual Full Throttle membership, I have to drop Max off of that because people get confused that I get access to the Max. No, Max Afterburner's Lifetime. So reminder, if you pay $29.95 for a year, you can be in here. So make sure you get in there. Thanks, Christina. It was successful. It's so funny because I'm like flying out there. I'm gonna wipe my list clean of all the stuff I have to do. Didn't. Flying back, I'm gonna wipe my didn't. So old me would be freaking out right now. New me's like, I give it up to the Holy Spirit. Everything that's supposed to happen happens exactly when it's supposed to be. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Bart tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And then next week, we're going to hit it pretty hard. We got a lot to cover. And obviously, everything will be known by next week, whether or not we hang up here or we go retest 4,200. I don't see, folks, you saw it this week from the Inflation Reduction Act to Joe Biden's polls. Everything's turning around, folks, like clockwork. Trump, I told you he was going to be indicted. I told you. People got pissed. What are they going to indict him for? Nothing. You can indict a ham sandwich. They're going to indict Donald Trump for a ham sandwich. What do you have you not been keeping up on current events? So the narrative is changing. Everything's great going into the election. Trust me, except it's not. And we'll be ready for it to implode when it does. Get ready for a bear call spread sniper shot if we don't hold here. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. Fights on. Namaste. And God bless.